The president really thought about 24 hours ago, it seemed, that he was going to deliver a speech, and a speech from the White House, from the Oval Office, is a serious matter, and it would calm markets. Through the course of his speech, we already saw futures dropping. The investors around the world, people who have choices about what they're doing with their money, do not think the White House is a firm hand on the tiller right now.
Yes, that's right. And this is the kind of address we've seen presidents previously make at times of crisis or turmoil. After the Oklahoma City bombing or after the 9/11 attacks, we've seen presidents very effectively use an Oval Office address to the nation to keep people calm, to provide a sense that they're in charge, that there's a path ahead. But those are reassurances that President Trump did not manage to convey last night, and instead, I think, raised more questions than he answered. And I've got to say, of the 6 presidents I've covered, I've never seen a president read a speech off a teleprompter and immediately have to have aides come out and offer factual corrections to what he said. That really does raise questions about what's happening at the White House and the competency of the leadership there.
Peter, you and Maggie Haberman has filed a story this evening in which you talk about the fact that what it seems the world and certainly Americans wanted or needed or continue to need from the White House is some degree of direction, some unified roadmap to follow forward. And in the absence of that, people are making their own rules, whether those be investors or governors or mayors or school districts or sports organizations.
Yeah, it's rather striking. The president, of course, has been pretty assertive on the issue of closing borders, right? That's an area he's familiar with. It's an area that's kind of dominated in some ways his 3 years in office. He's restricted travel from China, from Iran, and now, as of tomorrow night, from Europe. But the area he has not really asserted himself and provided direction to the country is inside our borders. What do we do with schools? What do we do with universities? Broadway, Disney World, the NHL, the MLB, all of these guys are making their decisions on their own without the guidance of the commander-in-chief from Washington. It took Anthony Fauci, the scientist you just showed on air, to say yesterday at a congressional hearing, yeah, maybe the NBA should think about suspending games. We shouldn't have these large gatherings. And within 24 hours of him saying that, you saw all of professional sports essentially react in a very strong way. The president himself didn't say that last night. He didn't give any direction on what he thinks people should do beyond washing their hands and keeping vulnerable populations, isolated. So I think that that's an unusual situation. Maybe he will turn that around. He's talking about a national emergency. He's talking about using emergency powers. But so far, he's left it to the country to decide for itself. And the result is much of American life has been closed down.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.